Hello, everyone, and welcome to this call. I'm Dan Ashendorf, and I've got two really special guests on today's interview. It's Barry and Catherine Cohen. They are business coaches, and they've very kindly agreed to come on the call today. We're going to be talking about how to drive traffic to your business, how to find your ideal customer, and a whole bunch of other really interesting stuff. So without further ado, hello, Barry and Catherine.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Right, guys. So really super stoked to have you here. Where are you guys from? Obviously, you're from the U.S., but what part of the U.S.?
We are in Phoenix, Arizona. So we are very hot.
We're originally from New York. So all your listeners that are going, that doesn't sound like a Phoenician accent. We've been here 24 years, but you never lose the New York accent.
Never.
Nice. Okay. So did you like it sort of out west? Is it good?
Love it.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. And tell me a bit about yourselves then. So how did you get to business coaching?
Go ahead, Kat.
Okay.
I'll let you take it.
For about 8 years, we had a software development company with a business partner. He was in charge of actually programming the software and creating the programs, and we were in charge of sales, marketing, and training. And so part of the training ended up being our business owners who were using the software. Part of the training was, well, how do you start a business? How do you grow a business? Or if you've already started this business, how do you continue to grow it? When we split with our partner, we decided to continue teaching people how to grow their business, how to target the right market, how to attract their ideal high-paying clients.
Nice. Okay. So how does one, so if I've got my, just before that, what does high-paying client mean? Like, is it sort of, we're looking at maybe $1,000, or what does it mean? What sort of ballpark?
Well, first of all, it's relative to your product or service, what you offer. Like in our case, it would be somebody that would take one of our private high-end coaching packages, as opposed to one of our courses, which is typically less than $1,000.
It can also mean, it's not necessarily price. High-paying client is the client that will pay you without going, well, can I have a discount? When are you going to put it on sale? You want, for whatever your product or service is, you want the person who comes in, knows what you're offering because of your message, knows their pain points, knows that you can solve their pain points, and says, that's what I need. Go ahead and give it to me. Here's my credit card, without going, how much? That's what a high-paying client is.
Okay. So how do we drive, because I do a lot of webinars. I do Facebook ads, I have a list, and I do webinars. Is that the best way, or is there any better ways of getting traffic to these offers?
There's many ways, but it all comes down to knowing who that ideal client is and messaging directly to them. And with us, what we like to talk about is an avatar. And a lot of people have heard the term in marketing jargon. And what that is, it is your one ideal high-paying client. It's your imaginary friend. Right. This is somebody who has all of the characteristics of all of your best clients, past, present, and future. You put them all together, you message directly to them.
One person.
Right. Okay.
And then it really doesn't matter where you're sending your message to, as long as you know that's where they are.
Okay.
And in fact, if webinars are right for you. If speaking on stage is right for you, or content on Facebook versus LinkedIn versus Instagram, because once you create your avatar, who your ideal client is. For you, for example, Dan, let's say that you've been doing webinars and doing webinars and doing webinars, and then you actually sit down and do your avatar. And I'm not saying that this is the case, but you do your avatar and you find that it's, your ideal client is 75 to 85 years, your ideal client is 80 years old. Your range is 75 to 80, but your ideal client is an 80-year-old who hates the computer, hates the internet, and, still writes things in pencil and paper. Then it's like, oh, no wonder why I haven't been getting anybody on my webinars. This guy doesn't even own a computer. That's an
Oh,
extreme example, but it demonstrates the importance of doing the work to find your avatar.
right. Okay. Okay. So they wouldn't necessarily be on Facebook or social media. Maybe direct mail is better to get to them. And that's
Exactly.
really where it's at, isn't it? So you need to know how to get to them because you kind of get into their heads and you know how they process information. Do they watch TV? Do they watch, you know, American football, or do they kind of like to, are they like really young and watch TikTok? You know, it really kind of depends, doesn't it? I suppose.
Absolutely. And that is all going to be based on what your product is, what your price point is, and who you are. Because remember, your ideal client also you want that to be somebody that you want to work with.
Yeah.
You know, that you enjoy spending time with and doing the business with, and somebody that enjoys doing business with you as well.
Nice one. Okay. So how do you attract, in that case, these kind of ideal clients into the business? Because from experience, it's really hit and miss. It's everyone's going on about numbers game, and that can be really expensive because if you go very wide, then by definition, you are going to be paying a lot of money to get the message across. But if you can go deeper and less wider, then your ROI is going to be higher then, isn't it?
Much higher, because your message is going to the right person.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Once you know who that ideal client is, you know how to speak to them.
Okay.
When you're speaking to the right person, you don't have to cast this wide net. You keep it narrow. There might be people out there that are still going to hear it, which is great, and they're still going to want to have your product or service, but they're not your ideal client. Let them come in. You're not going to turn them away.
No.
But your message is staying focused, which means your marketing budget goes down because you don't have to cast that wide of a net, and you know where to market to and how to market.
Okay. Okay. That's really interesting. So what, if you sort of had to maybe give our listeners some, say, one ninja trick of, you know, sort of just something for them to get their heads around and whet their appetite, what would you be able to give us?
You take that.
I would say we have, and I'll give you the website. It's createmyavatar.com. But what we've got, grab yours. What we've got is this. It downloads this little thing.
Oh.
And this little thing is going to be a series of questions to help you start to think about your avatar. Thanks, Vanna.
You're welcome.
You know, so it'll start to help you create your avatar. It's a series of questions for you to think about. So the ninja trick is this: go ahead and download that and work with it. Not, you know, sit down all at once for an hour or 2 hours and like really, really do it, but rather sit down for 5 or 10 minutes a day, look over the questions, and start to develop this person. In your mind, as you're going about your day, start to have a conversation with this person. Just like you did when you were a little kid and you created your, you know, your best friend who happened to be imaginary, you want to start to have a conversation with this person. Once you really know that person inside and out, you will know where to market. You will know how to create content to attract them to the webinars that you're doing. You will know how to email to them. You will know where they hang out. If you're going to networking groups, that's a big thing here in Phoenix, these networking events. If you're going to them, do you choose event A or do you choose event B? It depends on where your avatar is. So spending 5 or 10 minutes a day for about a week with this little cheat sheet, if you will, and thinking about this person will help you understand who they are so that before you speak, before you even get dressed to go to a networking event, before you do anything, you think to yourself, do they like this or do they dislike this?
Yeah, we will put the URL of that in the notes. That's really helpful. And I guess it's a bit like from my world, if you look at which social media platform to go into. So LinkedIn is very, very different to, you know, LinkedIn is quite wordy. It's very intellectual because you're looking at the B2B, whereas Twitter is very short because you got the very kind of punchy. And then you've got TikTok, which is extremely young and funny. And then you have Instagram, which is, so I guess it's kind of the same thing, isn't it? So you need to know where they are and how to speak to them to get the maximum level of engagement.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Know where they hang out. Once you know where they hang out, then you work on your message, what you're going to say to them. And then that's how the attraction starts.
Absolutely.
Nice one. Okay. So is this kind of your main thing about the attraction of the clients? Because I know you do also stuff about, sort of driving traffic and podcasting as well. And I saw you did have quite a sort of a versatile portfolio as well. You really kind of an end-to-end, isn't it? Of if anyone wants to grow their business, they would come to you, right?
Yeah. And, everything that we do with our clients starts with creating that ideal client, because that is the actual foundation of the business.
So for example, if your business warrants doing a podcast, we'll, work with you to create a podcast. If your business warrants creating an online course, and that's, where you're going to attract your best clients, we'll do that. It depends. We have an avatar. We have a very specific one single person that is our ideal high-paying client. And that person happens to be female. Our avatar happens to be female. And we have a number of male clients. We do a number of things with male clients. It just so happens that there is a particular personality type. There is a particular industry. For us, it's the service industry. There are very particulars of people that are attracted to us.
That's really interesting what you mentioned, for example, about a female, because I see a lot of podcasts, they're very kind of geared towards that demographic. There seems to be a lot of women, they want to stay at home and look after their children. So that seems to be a very buoyant sector in as much as, for this biz op and people looking to work from home, isn't it? That seems...
It is. And again, depending on the business, our avatar just happens to be a woman. Yeah. And like I said before, other people hear our message. So we do have men as clients, and we don't treat anybody, oh, you're a woman, we're going to treat you like this. You're a man, we're going to treat you like this. Everybody gets the same value from us and the same content from us. It's just, for whatever reason, women are more attracted to working with us. So that's where we focus our messaging.
Yeah, and we do a lot of research on that.
Yeah, I guess by definition, you've kind of cut down the cost of the ads by almost 50%, because if you look at, for example, Facebook ads, the more targeted you are, and kind of knowing where to go for the age group and the location and the interest and all that sort of thing. I mean, that really makes a big difference. Yeah,
absolutely.
Really see the value in what it is that you do. All right, good. So if anyone wants to find out more about you, how do they get in touch?
Our website is cohencoaching.com, COHEN coaching.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us.
Nice one. Okay. And if you had, say, we parted on one takeaway for the business community that are going to be watching us, the BizOp, what would you give them? What kind of one tip would you give them from your years of experience in coaching and business coaching?
Don't work with your spouse. No, I'm only kidding.
Actually, I work with mine as well. I gotta say, it's pretty, you don't have to share it, right? I mean, it kind of stays in the family, right? It's not a bad thing.
We have a great time. We always joke around like that. So Catherine, go ahead with the takeaway.
So the one takeaway is know who you're talking to, know who you're aiming for. When you get up in front of somebody at a networking event, or you give out a message that says anyone and everyone with skin is my ideal client, you have lost the entire room, because no one can self-select. No one can say, oh, they're talking about me. They're speaking directly to me. You don't have to say women or men, but you do have to say, unless you very specifically work with either of them, but you do have to say, if you have, for example, skin problems and you have acne and, and it's ruining your life, well, now I know that I'm speaking to somebody younger. Know who you're talking to, because then that person will go, that's me. I need you.
Get it. Okay, so that's kind of pre-research and that working on the avatar. That's really key to getting your hit rates with closing clients that much higher.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Nice one. Okay, good. All right, guys. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And
Thank you, Dan.
best of luck. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.